Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday, October the 28th. This is Puck U, Ylose NHL wagering show. I'm Mike Burns. That guy over there is Les Victorie. He's Ylose resident NHL handicapper. We got a monster card tonight. We got 16 games in action, every NHL team. We're going to highlight 4 of the games, break them down, tell you who we like, tell you why we like them. Before we get started over here, make sure that you guys slam that like button. We are live 3 days a week. We are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. A little early on the side today. Normally we're here at 2 o'clock. Had to push it up to 1 o'clock. If you guys aren't watching live, make sure that you rewind this. Turn your notifications on. Make sure you're subscribed. Les, how are we doing on this beautiful, sunny South Florida morning?
This isn't South Florida here, buddy. It was minus 6 degrees Celsius this morning, which is, I don't even know what that would be in Fahrenheit, probably like 20. But the sun is out, and you know what? We had a big night last night, Burnsy. Just to recap quick, we did take the over on the Blues and Penguins, 5.5. Morgan Geeky over 0.5 point, which cashed in like 3 minutes. Those are the best prop bets, eh? When first goal of the game, boom, bang, got it done.
Be done with it, move it on.
Now, something that's been incredibly hot is our parlays. Our parlays have been red hot. We cashed 2 of them last night. One was a bonus one. The other one was the bacon one. Arvidsson over 1.5 shots. Crosby over 0.5 point. Malkin over 1 point. Tristan Jarry to over 22.5 saves. And, of course, Mr. Drake Batherson and that shit pumping the Sens put on the Bees last night. So tonight, though, I'm telling you right now, we got a big parlay going on again, and we're so confident in it that we're backing it, that it has to cash, or you're going to get the elite season absolutely free.
Oh, doggy, you lost your mind today.
I know. It's stupid, but that's how confident I am in this parlay. I just want to tell you what it is because I'm so excited to get it posted, but I'm not going to do that. So if you want to find out what that is, head on over to the Telegram. Pick up your NHL Elite month pass for $149, and if it loses, you get the rest of the season absolutely free. I don't know what more you could ask for from me.
I'm buying it. I already got access to the picks, and I'm buying it. Link for the Telegram is in the description. As always, guys, we're going to get right to it here. First game to highlight. Who else are we going to start with? The hottest team in the NHL, the New Jersey Devils, travel out to Colorado to take on the Avalanche. Little home and home here. Devils took the first meeting on Sunday, 4-3 overtime winner. Devs had a 3-2 lead late in the third. Avs tied it up. But then who else? Jack Hughes called game in overtime after Nemish picked up a Natchez fumble fuck in the O-zone, leaving Jack all alone in front for a year and a day to pick the short side corner. We head back. So we got Devils riding an 8-game winning streak, tied for the best record in the NHL. And you want to talk about an offense that is clicking right now, averaging 3.9 goals per game. But I got to say, as much as I like to stroke the pitchfork more than anyone, Devils a little banged up. Lost a big defensive piece on Sunday. Brett Pesce is out. I don't even know if he made this road trip the Devils are about to go on. Took an upper body injury, blocking a shot. Really kind of looked like a nothing burger of a thing, but he didn't return to action then. And now we got the Avalanche on revenge. We got Nathan McKinnon, Martin Natchez, and Arturi Lehkonen combining for 17 goals and 20 assists. What do you see going on in the Rockies tonight?
I don't think I can add to anything. I think you nailed it.
Moving on.
Almost perfectly. But I will say this, though. It's not a great price, but it has cashed 100% of the time over the last 5. And that's quietly a Brent Burns overshot prop. It's 1.5 right now.
He's the one who actually hurt Pesce.
Yeah, well, he's stupid. Don't get in the way of
Step
that guy.
in front of a Brett Burns.
Yeah, back in the day when you go out to block shots and you know the guy's got a big shot, you would purposely make sure you're 3 feet over. It looks like you're going to block the shot. It keeps the coaches happy and off your back, but really you're praying to fucking God, please don't hit my foot, because if you do, it's going to be in 12 pieces. And that's kind of exactly what happened. And, you know, he's an older guy, veteran guy. He gets pucks to the net, though. He's had 13 shots on goal in his last 5 games for almost 3 a game. And this line's only at 1.5. You are paying a little bit more for it, but it could be a good spot to throw into a little mixed parlay. Brent Burns over 1.5. And then, of course, Nathan McKinnon is Nathan McKinnon. It's almost impossible to take his prop bets unless you're expecting a 2-point night. And you just won't see that on my card, because that's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the NHL, and it's tough to get points, even though you're Nathan McKinnon. But I mean, Colorado's goalie has had New Jersey's number for quite some time. This is a tough spot for the Devs. I mean, they can't win every game as much as you'd like to think they can. Avs are on a 4-game skid, little bit pissy probably over how the last game ended. Whenever you go play those home and home games, it's very difficult to win that second game. So, I mean, it's tough to fade the Avs tonight.
Yeah, man. And listen, coming from the Devils insider, right? You know, obviously I skipped football on Sunday and I watched the Devils Avalanche early game at 1:00. And that was more of a survival game from the Devs. You know, they coughed it up on a bad fucking turnover, bad defensive miscue from Nemec. You know, he's still young. We'll need him to get it together. But I mean, it was all Colorado. You know, the Devils, pretty much survived that, had the gift in overtime. But I mean, this fucking Scott Wedgwood, man, like ever since we shipped him out, I think he went to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was Columbus first, then out to Dallas, and now over to Colorado. Devils have never beat him. Never beat him. You know, Devils do get good news. They do get Jacob Markstrom back between the pipes tonight after, I believe that was the lower body. You know, he missed about a week and a half of action. And I go back to last year, when he had, I think it was like an MCL sprain or something, and he missed almost a month of the season. It took him a while to, find his legs, So as much as I want to see 9 in a row, as much as the way that, I don't want to step in front of a buzzsaw, it's hard for me to put my money on my squad tonight. We pull out the W tonight, that'll be a pleasant surprise, but I'm not expecting it, man. It's
very difficult for goalies to come back from injury and then go post a ridiculous game, right? Goalies are very momentum-wise players. They're weird. They're superstitious. They have rituals. And you're kind of getting thrown into, the grave here.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. You're going to Colorado, and you got to go do good things and stop the puck. That's a big ask for a guy that, even though he's out a week, you got to assume that he's probably still not 100%. I mean, I stubbed my toe last week and it still fucking hurts. So, I'm sure his injury was it looked like he got shot. So, it's definitely going to be tough to fade the Avs tonight.
Yeah, man, I would love nothing more than the streak to continue, but it's tough to see. All right, moving on. We got another marquee matchup in the NHL tonight. We're going to be highlighting the Vegas Golden Knights against the Carolina Hurricane. VGK heads to Raleigh, right? These are two of the top contenders in the league here. These two teams met over a little bit over a week ago. Vegas winning in Vegas 4-1. Carolina 6-2 on the season, returning home after a tough road stretch. And I'm not talking about wins and losses. I'm more talking about injuries. Hurricanes are without key defensemen right now. Keandre Miller out. Jacob Slavin, he's on IR. There are rumors that Shane Gostisbehere could return tonight, but still day-to-day, still questionable. His presence on the power play has been crucial this year. He's led the team in power points last year, so they definitely need him back. We got Freddie Anderson in the pipes for Carolina. Doesn't have a great head-to-head record against Vegas, 0-3 with an 8.68 save percentage, 3.12 goals against in the last 3 meetings. Carolina's favorite here. What are you seeing?
It's a confusing favorite because they just got back from a 2-week road trip. They've been on the road longer than any team in the NHL. And typically when you see teams get back from a road trip, you would assume like, oh, they're going to be so happy to be back at home. You know, they're going to come out and do their thing. But statistically, your first home game back, the losses happen more than the wins do. It's just the way it is. You know, you just get back, you just get settled back into your routine. You know, you're probably banged up, like you said, like you've been on the road for 2 weeks now. You're probably tired. You know, you're probably tired. However, this is a good Carolina team, and Freddie Anderson has the capability of stealing a game, and he can do it on any given night. However, we're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights here. Like, I honestly think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to make a deep playoff run this year. I think they have what it takes, especially now that Carter Hart has signed in Vegas.
Got hot.
Might as well. But I think this is a difficult spot for Carolina with the injuries, like you mentioned. It's definitely a pretty good underdog bet. If you're looking to play some plus money tonight, and we know I love plus money, Vegas is a pretty good look. You know, they're equally roughly the same caliber of team. My only issue is Vegas isn't as good on the road as Carolina is at home. You know, they're already 2-0 on the year. They play really well in front of their fans. So it's definitely a tricky spot for that reason. Vegas's offense has dried up a little bit in the past couple games. You know, they haven't been filling the net. And you look at what they did last year is they were unbelievable at home, and on the road they were like a just above 500 team. So. Yeah. And they're kind of showing that already. They're 3-0-1 at home and 2-1-2 on the road. So to me, you have a losing record on the road right now, but you got a tired Carolina team with some injuries. You might want to fucking lock this one down early and often. Otherwise, you're going to end up in that same 500 boat all season long.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like you talked about, you know, coming home after that long road trip, you know, you leave the girlfriends behind, you come home to the wife, you got to take the fucking garbage out. You got the kids, you know, screaming at you, daddy, daddy, daddy. I mean, you know, yeah, they got a good night's rest last night in their own beds, right? But now you got to come out and you got to play a tough Vegas team. You know, Vegas ranks 3rd in the league in expected goals per 60. They've allowed 2 or fewer goals in 5 of the last 7. They got Akira Smid between the pipes tonight. He won that matchup against Carolina earlier in the season, 4-1, allowing just 1 goal on 23 shots with a 9.57 save percentage. I don't know, man. I mean, it just this to me, you know, I'm with you. This screams Vegas. You know, plus money, plus I think it's plus 125 right now, so it's not really like that much of a tough ask. I hate seeing. You know, Carolina, you know, I mean, especially if Gothisbehere doesn't play tonight, now you're missing 3 key defenders on that blue line. I don't know. Tough one right there. What do you think about goals tonight? The over-under set at 6.5 here. You see pucks getting by these guys?
It's tough because Carolina has a really good PK. Vegas's power play has struggled over their last 3. They haven't scored a power play goal since October 18th.
Sounds like they're due.
It sounds like they're due for sure. Carolina's penalty kill has been pretty good. So, I don't really see any significant edge in the special teams. I still think Vegas is trying to figure out how Marner fits into this first power play with, Hurdle. And Mark Jones out now.
Man. It takes time.
It takes time. It's going to take good 20 games, and he's been a pretty quiet contributor to this Vegas team, which was kind of expected, I thought. So it's tough to say for goals. I mean, it could go either way. I want to say the under just because Carolina should be tired. Their offense might not quite be there. Or if it does show up, it could be later in the game, but by then it might be too late. Vegas has had a little bit of a tough road trip, only scoring 1 goal in their last 2 games against, Florida and Tampa Bay. So I want to lean on the under on this one to think that Carolina is going to keep them in check at least. And I like to believe that Vegas could squeak out with like a 3-2 overtime win tonight. Which of course would cash the under. So I do like the under for those reasons. Vegas hasn't been able to get a lot of pucks to the net. They've only had 19 shots on goal last game and 17 the one before that. Well, the unders are probably going to cash if you're not getting over 20 shots on goal. So, it's not a common thing for Vegas. They definitely like to shoot the puck traditionally, but given the circumstances at hand, and Freddie Anderson, if he does Freddie Anderson things, it could keep this one real close.
Interesting stat here, for Carolina is they're third in the league in goals for with 3.75. Dead last in power play at 6.9%. Great 5-on-5 team. Declined the penalty. We'll just play 5-on-5. That wasn't a trip. Let it go. Keep it
them
moving.
And the Islanders. They got to do video together or something because holy fuck, that's embarrassing, especially with the amount of skill that's on that power play. It makes no fucking sense. Well, it was just like the Penguins. What was that, last year or the year before? You got Malkin, Letang, Crosby. They were like 0-32 or something.
Historically bad. Never has the league ever seen a worse power play.
The goat of peepers.
Yes. All right. Moving on to our third game. We got the Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild. Jets head to St. Paul tonight to face the Wild. Jets are off to a great start, sitting at 6-3. Perfect on the road this year, 3-0. 8 wins in a row against Minnesota dating back to 2023. The Wild, on the other hand, are in the middle of their second 3-game losing streak in this young season here. I mean, when you talk about the Jets, you got to talk about their offensive power, their firepower, averaging 3.1 goals per game, led by Mark Scheifele. He's got 13 points. Kyle Connor's got 11 points. And then the all-time regular season puck stopper, Connor Hellebuck's in that tonight. Defensively, Winnipeg boasts a strong penalty kill, 91.7%, and allows only 2.4 goals. As the old saying goes, your penalty kill is only as good as your netminder. Minnie's in a little bit of a free fall after that huge contract to Kaprizov. What do you see going on here in St. Paul?
We all know how I feel about that fucking contract, but nonetheless, that doesn't really affect the answer of your question. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kaprizov is having still a pretty good year. I mean, he's produced. He's
doing his job.
He's been an apple tree, but it's everything else that's around him. He's got 14 points in 10 games, but only 5 goals. And I think they're hoping for him to be a 40-plus goal scorer. I mean, you're getting paid that kind of money. I think that's the goal. Otherwise,
and I think it's possible. You stay healthy, it's absolutely possible.
For sure.
Him and Boldy are a nasty combo, dude.
Oh, for sure. 100%. And their power play is unbelievable. It's dried up a little bit as of late, but typically they have a very good power play. For that reason, you give guys like Kaprizov some time and space on the peeper. Well, he's going to make plays. He's going to make shit happen, and that's what he does. Now, with that being said, what the fuck is going on with the goaltending in Minnesota? They're terrible right now. Short of Gustafson's 1 goal against the Rangers. October 20th, they were giving up an average of 4 goals a game the last few. I mean, to get Winnipeg at this price, it's almost hard not to take them. And it's almost not hard to put them. Yeah, I know. It doesn't make sense. Mostly because Minnesota's at home and they typically play well at home. It hasn't happened yet this season. They got just the 1 win at home. Jets are 3-0 on the road. The Jets are a better team, and you're going up against Connor Hellebuyck, the reigning Vezina, and he's been exceptional. He's doing Connor Hellebuyck things like usual. I mean, he won't show up in the playoffs, but he is showing up right now. Almost impossible to not consider Winnipeg a +1.5 in a parlay here. Get yourself a goal, and I really think Winnipeg could win this game. But at the same time, this might be a little bit of a trap spot because
I don't like how it's a pick 'em.
Minnesota is due, and why is this a pick 'em? Statistically, Winnipeg's a much better team, and yet you're putting a pick 'em on it. Somebody knows something that I don't. So because of that reason, I might stay clear of it because it's a weird line. Sometimes they just don't make sense. It was like the other night, Tampa and Vegas, or Vegas was in Tampa. Vegas was like a +130 dog against a team that's 1-7.
Yeah.
What? And yet Tampa won. And they deserve to win.
It's almost like these guys know something.
Exactly. So I find these lines are a little bit of a trap spot when the record doesn't make sense with the line. So it might be worth staying clear from this. And I mean, at the end of the day, Minnesota can't lose every game either. Right? They've dropped 3 in a row. They just lost to the Sharks on home ice.
What a fun team, though.
Oh my God. I love watching the Sharks. I mean, I'm looking at my jerseys here and I want to do more free picks of the Sharks, but I don't own a Sharks jersey because nobody owns a fucking Sharks jersey. However, this almost has to be a get right spot for Minnesota. If you lose this game, you should start to be getting worried because you can't play shit teams every night. Like you look at their wins so far this season, St. Louis, LA, and the Rangers. That's the only 3 teams. Broken. They're all fucking broken ass teams. They've lost to Washington, Dallas, New Jersey, Utah, all good teams. But it doesn't make sense how this is a pick 'em given those things. So it's kind of a trap spot. Be careful with it. But I mean, it's hard to fade Hellebuyck when he's playing as good as they are, as good as he is, with keeping in mind Winnipeg hasn't lost on the road yet.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing to do. That's a tough building to play in. Minnesota loves their fucking hockey. It's going to be a good game. I'm probably going to watch this one a little bit while I pain myself with a fucking another 18-inning Jays game.
One for the fucking ages last night. What up, Will? Damn right.
There
Book
he
that
is.
ticket, brother. Book that ticket right there. Not to confuse things anymore, but I mean, Minnesota has the 3rd best power play, clicking at 32.5%, right? They have the 31st penalty kill, 60.9%. Winnipeg, on the other hand, have the 7th best power play, 28.1, and the 3rd best penalty kill, 92.1. I mean, Minnesota's banged up right now. You're missing Zach Bogosian, missing Nico Sturm. Zuccarella's on IR. Their defensive vulnerability is just fucking wild. They're averaging against 3.9 goals per game. It's just if you told me that the Jets were -180, that's the only thing talking me off of this thing. The reason that is a pick 'em. Right? I mean, the Jets offense should have a fucking field day right here. So, I mean, maybe you look at goalie props. I haven't looked at them, but maybe what the shots over are. I don't know. There is a way to find a way to the window here. It's like that ugly, dirty kind of feeling. So.
Well, I mean, if you're expecting to score goals, and if I'm the Winnipeg Jets, I'm expecting them to score goals. You gotta look at Kyle Connor over an assist. You gotta look at Mark Scheifele over an assist.
Mm-hmm.
These guys get on the score sheet night in and night out, even in losses. Even if they only score 1 or 2 goals, they're probably on the score sheet because that's what they do. So, it's not a terrible spot given how bad goaltending has been for Minnesota to consider those things. Even Neil Pionk, he's just peppering shots right now. He's had 13 shots in his last 3 games. You can get him a plus money at 2.5, right? So plus 150 over 2.5 shots, not a bad bet. Matthew Boldy, he needs to get going. He's due. He's been very much a home player pretty much his entire career. He doesn't even show up for road games unless it's in the playoffs. Kaprizov is a little too juiced at the shot total. They have him at 3.5 shots right now. He's only hit that once in his last 5 games, and he's going up against a very defensively smart Winnipeg team. There is value here. You do have to dive deeper into the game here. Kaprizov, I feel like he's trying to be more like a McDavid, where I want to get 100 assists and 6 goals this season, because he moves the puck so well. He sees the ice so well. He knows it. Everybody knows it. If he does get a point tonight, it's likely going to be an assist because he only has, 4 or 5 goals this season so far, 10 or 11 assists. Put the money where it is. And if that's where it's saying to put it, well, then put it there until things change.
Let me junk this up for everybody a little bit more before we move on here. Winnipeg's won 8 in a row straight up against this team.
Yeah.
5-0, 4-1, 2-1 OT, 4-2, 6-3, 3-2, 4-2, 3-1. I mean, the Wild haven't beat them since March of 2028. So just even more of a fucking head scratcher on this one here. So check out the player prop market. See where you can get to the window with something here. All right, last game on the card tonight. We're heading to Motor City. We got the Blues taking on the Wings. Blues out for revenge tonight after blowing a 4-goal lead on Saturday to Detroit. Shit pumped the second half of that game, losing 6-4. Blues have injury troubles. They're missing Robert Thomas. They're missing Jake Neighbors. Both are day-to-day with upper and lower, respectively. Goaltending concerns for the Blues. Thank God for the Blues' sake, it's not Joel Hofer. I mean, he had 2 bad games and 1 bad game the other day, getting pulled, getting thrown back in late. And Binner hasn't been too strong. He's let in a 3.12 goals against, 87.2 save percentage, 5 goals on 27 shots the last time these guys met. I mean, the Blues have allowed 6 or more goals in 3 straight games. And they played last night. It didn't work out great for them then. And now they face a well-rested Detroit team. What do you see going on under the arches? The arch.
It's too bad that Patrick Kane is hurt right now, because
he's out too.
If he wasn't hurt, I would be all over this Detroit team to go in and win this game, given the goaltending situation. Detroit has had pretty good goaltending. It's hit and miss, like the story of their fucking life. But it's nowhere.
Jekyll and Hyde team in the fucking league, right? We talked about before we got on here. This team will win 10 in a row, and then what do they do next? Lose 10 in a row.
Maybe 11. Like that's because that's just the way they do things. And we saw it already at the start of the year. They went on they ripped off 5 straight wins and then lost the next 2 while giving up 11 goals in those 2 losses. It's like, holy fuck, who are you? What is your identity? Like you're not losing in overtime. You're giving up all kinds of goals now. And the thing is with the Blues is their penalty kill is also fucking terrible. They have given up a power play goal in every game of the last 10 except for 3. At least 1, maybe more. Some of them were more. With that being said, you look at the Detroit power play, Dylan Larkin, great start to the season. DeBrincat, great start to the season. The Detroit power play, very good. With respect to Detroit, they got a good power play going on. So if St. Louis comes out asleep like they have before plenty of fucking times, I think Detroit's going to jump all over them. They're the more rested team. They're the better team. St. Louis is going to shit the bed until February and still make a run for the playoffs because that's what they do. And their identity hasn't changed over the last 10 years.
You know what the best part of this is? It's another fucking pick'em. Right? Like, what in the fuck? I know Johnny Gibson's going to be between the pipes for, Detroit. What a fucking awful first game of the season. But he's turned it around, man. He's 3-1 since then. He's got a 3.46 goals against, 87 save percentage, and a lot of those numbers were inflated because I think he gave up 25 goals in the first start of the fucking season. So another one that just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. I see this as more of a minus 150 spot for Detroit. Broken St. Louis team. Who's scoring for St. Louis tonight? Can't put it all on Kyrou. Snuggerud, love that player, love that name.
Yeah,
but who else? It's just not there for me.
That's the weird thing is they are still scoring goals. They have scored 11 goals in their last 3 games, and all of them ended up in losses. So you know what that tells me? Take the fucking over. Take the over. You got Gibson starting, who has been, he's still averaging over 3 goals against. St. Louis played last night. Binnington is hot and cold. If you take the over and Binnington saves 42 shots tonight, well, you fucking lost. That's the way it goes. But the over is cashed 7 out of the last 10 games for St. Louis. Head to head, 7 out of the last 10. Goaltending is an issue on both sides. I think it's going to take Gibson a little bit longer to really find his rhythm. And I like the over. Detroit's not a exceptionally well defensive team to begin with. Their power penalty kill is meh. So, if there's a lot of special teams in this game, we could see a lot more opportunities, which will help that over. And St. Louis is just really good at putting up numbers for the good and the bad in the first period. Like you look at what the other night they give up 4 in the first fucking first period of the Utah game. There ended up being 11 fucking goals in that game. Like,
Utah's just a wagon. Everybody saw that coming.
Yeah. I just ordered my jersey now that I'm going to hop on to that one. But, I don't like any of these teams' money line because they're too unpredictable and there's not enough evidence of the identity of these teams. But the proof here for me is the goals.
10 goals given up the last meeting. Obviously, Detroit with the 6-4 win. Like you said, Blues have allowed 6 or more in 3 straight games. Wings offense is clicking. Blues defense is depleted. I expect a high scoring fair, dude. I'm with you. I'm with you right there. All right. 4 games down. We're moving to best bets. All right, brother. Best bet of the show. What are we sinking our teeth into? All 32 games in action tonight. We were talking before the show. Maybe it's a little bit too many, right? Like when there's just 2 games. Tomorrow we only got 1 game.
I hate how they do that.
I know it's the fucking worst.
But they do a decent job of at least spacing out the time slots so that it's not the first intermission for.
Yeah, but if you got fucking 4 teams on a back-to-back tomorrow and you got 1 game playing tomorrow, why not just move those fucking teams? I don't know, whatever. When I'm running the league, I'll do things different. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah, I talked to Gary Bettman the other day for you, and he said he's gonna put your resume in the garbage. You know what though? It's not a good price. It's moved in the way that I thought it was going to move. It moved a lot more than I was hoping. But if this isn't a must fucking win for the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight, I don't know what is. Like you're going up against a Calgary team that has regressed, which I said they were going to regress. Mm-hmm. I said Dustin Wolf wasn't going to be the same guy, and he's been
3.37 goals against, 88.6 save percentage, 2-6. Dustin,
But I don't blame
Tough
him
numbers for a
of
well-paid man.
Yeah.
Did you see his comments? Not to go off the rails here, but did you see his comments the other day? He was like, well, I mean, fuck, dude, I can't score.
Yeah.
What do you
Oh,
do?
God.
What a soundbite.
Yeah. Hey, Dustin, you got to go on the fucking bus with these guys right after this, so you should, shut your fucking mouth and say, yeah, we got to score more goals, but not like, oh, you want me to stop them all and score them? Like, fuck off. Don't be a fucking dink. Anyway. But I would go as far as taking Toronto on the money line. You're gonna pay for it. It sucks. It's moved up to -180, which is fucking terrible. You know what? I'm gonna even do one better. The best bet is gonna be Toronto on the 3-way money line. I think they get it done in regulation, like they have. They've owned the Flames over the last 10 games, winning 8 of them. 4 of them, 4 out of the last 10 did go to extras, but this has got to be a get right spot for the Leafs. And Austin Matthews has good numbers against Calgary. It just makes sense that Toronto wins this game, and that will make the Jays win later that night.
That's how it works. Totally works like that. 100%.
That's the only explanation.
There's
There's probably only going to be
about
1,000 people at this game because of that. And the fan base at Scotiabank Arena sucks. But they got to get it done. They're 500 out the gate. I would even be fine with taking the over 5.5.
Low total.
Yeah, I know that's 2, but I would even maybe parlay them together. Little Toronto money line and the over. It's only a 5.5 total. You can always expect a couple empty netters if Calgary does keep it close. So that's what I'm rolling with. Best bet of the night, Toronto on the money line, parlayed with the over 5.5.
Up and over, baby. All right, best bet done. How about we move on to a little D-Gen parlay? See a lot of guys picks in here. NYC born, loving LA. Tough to get behind LA right now, dude. That team just doesn't make sense to me. But all right, let's get to it. You kick us off. I'll type it out. We're going to do a little 4-leg parlay here. Try and put some bucks in your guys' pockets for you. What are we liking? 2
words. 87. Sidney Crosby has been the hottest fucking player in the NHL right now.
The ageless one.
If you don't put him on your card, if you're making a parlay every fucking night for the next till Christmas at least, and then reevaluate, I don't know what you're doing. Sidney Crosby over 0.5 point against the heavily favored Flyers.
Flyers are heavily.
Even though Pittsburgh played last night, if goals need to come from somewhere in Pittsburgh. So Crosby had 3 points last night. Malkin had 2. Take your pick. So I'm starting off with Crosby over 0.5 point.
All right. Leg number 2 coming from me. I don't know what's going on. Vegas ain't scaring me. Las Vegas, not the Vegas Golden Knights. Las Vegas ain't scaring me off the Golden Knights tonight. I'm taking the Vegas Golden Knights VGK money line.
A dog? You're taking the dog?
Come on, man. We're trying to make some money here, bro.
Oh, yes. Degenerate. I love it.
Oh, NYC throwing shots at you right there.
What did he say? I don't see it.
He said the Blue Jays below. No chance.
Yeah, you're probably right. Fuck it. Look at Burnsy.
Stay out of our fucking head, dude.
When was the last time the Devils won the cup? He still bleeds red.
I still watch those highlight videos.
Yeah, on VHS because that's how long it's been. Hey, you know what? The Devils were an awesome team to watch back in the day. I mean, I was a lot younger. I didn't really understand the game back then, but it was awesome to watch. The Scott Stevens, Marty Brodeur era,
taking guys' fucking heads off. Don't come to my middle of the ice.
Ask Eric Lindros how if he remembers playing the Devils.
No, he doesn't.
He does not. Yeah. For my second leg, I got to stick with the Leafs because I really feel like it's going to be their night. So John Tavares over half a point. Nylander is questionable to play tonight, which is going to open up more minutes for Tavares. And he's had a regular John Tavares start to the season, point per game guy, not doing, a lot of anything crazy. Scored a nice goal the other night. He's going to have to really step up because Austin Matthews isn't doing a fucking thing, short of, his gay little 1T at the bottom of the circle there on the power play, which seems like the only way he can score goals right now. So I got to go back to Tavares. He's just such a grinder for that team. And, another guy that you could put on the scorecard almost every night and come out ahead.
All right, last leg. We talked about it. I co-sign it. I love it. I'm taking the over in the Red Wings and Blues game, listed at 5.5. Get this bad boy up on the screen. Boy, this just feels like easy money to me, brother. Again, DGen Parlay, also called the Pizza Money Parlay, right? This isn't something you sink your entire bankroll on. This is something for fun, little sprinkle, little sprankle. 16 games in action tonight. We just broke down 4 of them for you. What else we got going on tonight? Give it to us again, Les. What's the big buy tonight?
This is stupid for me to do this, but I'm going to do it because we're
Not
hot
today,
right
Alex
now.
Can't do it.
Parlays, no Devils props? Yeah, what's wrong? No Pesci, no fucking Jack Hughes hat trick prop or anything like that.
They didn't have his goals over 5.5, so I couldn't take it.
The under was just it wasn't a good price. Tonight we've hit parlay after parlay after parlay the past few days. We've hit our bonus ones. We've hit in 3-leggers. We've hit in a couple 3-leggers. Tonight, we're doing a must-cash parlay, or you get the rest of the elite season, not the regular season, the elite season, where you get every 100-star, every 50-star, every parlay, every fucking thing I put money on. You get it absolutely free if this parlay does not hit tonight. So if you're thinking about playing and joining the NHL Ylose channel, this is the night to do it because if we're wrong, you might become a member of the VIP channel with over almost 15,000 people in that Telegram now. Like it's just gone berserk how many people have been a VIP member. So get in. Tonight's the night to do it. 1 month for $149 of the elite bacon parlay, must cash, or you get the rest of the season absolutely free.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. And yeah, Alex Crosby's first name is Sidney. It's not Doug Crosby on Columbus. It's Sidney Crosby on Pittsburgh. But all right. Tuesday show in the books. We'll be back over here tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we can line up around 2:00. Only got one game, so we'll dive into it. We'll give you what we like. We'll tell you how we like it. For Les Victory, I'm Mike Burns. This has been Why Lose NHL podcast. Puck you. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn those notifications on. You'll get alerted next time that we go live over here. Enjoy the action tonight, guys. We'll catch you back over here tomorrow. Let's cash that fucking parlay. Let's go.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my